This is your daily market review for Monday, May 6th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Monday, May 6th, 2024. Interesting day after an interesting week. Had some more continuation up. As we talked about, going to be a light data week, light earnings digesting. There was some good news over the weekend, supposedly. Again, we'll see how it digests. I'm not surprised they chased the market up. Closed pretty strong. However, as we all know, again, the worst is before us, coming in the future. The Feds talked about lower inflation. They tried to hype up after the FOMC meeting last week that everything was going to be better, but we know how that typically works. Again, there's only been an inversion of the yield curve this steep 3 times in the history of the markets, and all 3 times we had 50% pullbacks. Now, when does that happen? That's the hardest part. We feel like the top is in. Will we see the top, or is it going to be choppy, sloppy, retest, lower highs? We talk about all the different ways you play out tops and bottoms. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. Let's get into the evidence. Let's go through the charts. And again, as we talked about, the Monday following FOMC meeting, again, light week. I said, don't be surprised if we chop around this week going into bigger data in OPEX. So again, check out the Discord room description below, posting all our trades on Twitter. Follow, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. Check out thetradingagent.com. Get your recommended reading list, all the benefits of the Marcus account, and also your interactive brokers. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It is well worth it. So as we talked about, there's no rate cut expected until potentially of November. So keep that in mind. The market's going to be probably a sloppy, choppy mess election year, very similar to like 2008, in my opinion. Bitcoin, as we've talked about, holding the levels. Watch what happens here at 61,000. I would not be surprised if you test 56,000 at some point before we rally more or take out lower lows. Again, I don't trust anything metal, inflation related, not near term. Long term, I trust it. Near term, I don't. I know they throw the baby out the bathwater. I've seen that a billion times. Oil, as we talked about, pulling back, not surprisingly, right? Rallies. We know there's the Gaza stuff, whatever you want to, however you want to describe it. We do know that there's going to be higher lows, in my opinion, because the SPR needs to be refilled. That whole game of negative futures prices, never happening again, in my opinion. Near term, at least. Maybe probably never again. All right, here we go. Cool. Natural gas. Again, this is one we've been pounding the table on. We like this. Don't see much downside. Again, now don't be surprised if we pull back in time. I have to be watching this 230 area. Again, will it, I've said this, and I'm over and over and over. There is not much downside in natural gas when you buy it in the 150 range. Upside is pretty strong. So again, that's my favorite long-term trade near term because I don't think there's much downside. The dollar gap down on the jobs report, now chopping around. TLT holding up after the jobs report. Said watch the 20-day. Again, why are yields going lower? It's the economy strengthening. SPY, got to give it credit where credit's due. Again, this is what's so hard. You expect the bounce. We talked about that. We've been talking about that for days and weeks. We talked about it's going to be choppy. You gapped up on Friday, which is typically a doji. Again, we talk about jobs days are usually dojis. The Monday gap up follow through. Interesting. Again, this is what's hard. Taking some shorts up here with stops, like it a lot. The risk reward. Could we go back to the highs or retest? That's always freaking possible. Lower credit where credit's due. NVIDIA doesn't have earnings till next week. There's a lot of games being played here. IWM, we talked about it lagging, rallying back. DIA, which has been, in my opinion, like the laggard. Doji. Gold, rally today. Again, not surprised. We talked about down, chop, 20-day, watch the levels, right? Usually the first break below the 20-day, there's some sort of retest back. Silver, we talked about this lagging for a while. Okay, cool. You go from 27 down to 24. Right, not surprised. GDX, again, I like the dip down, or like dust down here in the 7s. Chopping around, GDXJ, chopping around. Like it a lot. AEM. This one's been holding up. This one, in my opinion, longer term, looks, oh gosh, too much. Looks strong. Looks much stronger than, say, like Newmont. I don't know if they're going to be a buyout target or what, but they look strong long term on pullbacks. Again, I don't like chasing this action. Seeing the miners get slapped before. Talked about Newmont. Here you go. Filling the gap, backing off with earnings, chopping, just chopping. Again, I mean, every day isn't the best day to trade or the best opportunity. Pass, let it chop. So let's get into tech here because this is where it gets a little interesting, right? We talked about Taiwan Semi. In my opinion, has pain. But here you go, rallying back. This is why trading's hard. I mean, if everybody was always right, the market would be free money. Well, remember, what is the goal of the market? It's take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. If you're not aware of that and you're just thinking all of a sudden that trading is always going to be easy, you, my friend, will have a rude awakening because that's just the reality of the business. Now, near term, Taiwan Semi, I mean, again, I'd be watching the mid 140s for an absolute fail buster here. Micron, this one we talked about, blew off top. I mean, I've been on record, like, I don't know if this is the one to short because, again, they could be a buyout target, but like AMD, this has been lagging, but all right, cool. I mean, like lower lows, watch the 20-day. I mean, could it get to 162? Absolutely. NVIDIA, again, I recommend people take profits up here. People are like going crazy and they're like, no way, bro. And it's like, okay, this big move, if you get anything sniffing the 900s, it's like, that's the gift. I mean, look where we're closed. Be careful. And again, I go back to this. I mean, like Tesla's a very good example of this in like 2021. Look. Goes crazy. Makes a lower high. Makes one more lower high. Drops. Makes another lower high. And that's what happens. You have to consolidate the big moves. No one's listening. That's fine. Just hold on to it. See what happens. SMCI, we said, held the 100-day. Cool. Chopping around again. They actually had earnings that I could get behind for a couple quarters, but again, I don't trust it. You can trade it. Do I trust it? No. Intellectual property. This has been a dog. Not surprised oversold bounce if it was coming. SMH, bigger bounce than I thought we'd get, but I mean, you're going to have some resistance up here in the mid 220s. Just keep an eye on it. If it was always easy, everyone would make money. I mean, it is what it is. Adobe, we talked about this one gapping down on earnings, making a slightly lower high and then rallying back. Okay. Again, if the market's holding up, these are going to hold up. Apple was hoping for up today. I mean, look at this. Hits the trend line, feels like a gap close enough. I mean, really want to. We said watch the 100, 200-day, hits it perfectly. Okay. I mean, you took that trade. Now be careful. It could bounce, chop around. Or who knows? I mean, again, Buffett's selling Apple as fast as he can, y'all. Amazon, retesting the highs, keep an eye on it. Meta, it's getting interesting. Because again, I thought about shorting it today because this is exactly where I said I'd want it. But again, if the market's holding up, I don't necessarily, again, I started nibbling in some index shorts, adding back some stuff, but I'm like, I wish it was Tuesday because Mondays in the summer are up, Fridays are up, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are down. Or it's the vice versa. It just depends. Like they sequence it very consistently. Monday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see if that plays out. CRM, watching the 20-day. Google, pops on earnings, right? Pops strong. Chopping, giving some of it back. Microsoft held the 400 area, which it needed to. Okay. Now I'd watch again the 415. NDAQ trying to rally back. Chop top. Man, this is hard. I mean, if it was all easy, everyone would win. MicroStrategy, again, here speaking of hard. We expected like the 1200 area to hold. Gets down to 1,000. Now it rallies back. I mean, again, I'd be watching this 1300 area. I mean, I don't know about MicroStrategy. Longer term, I feel like it should go higher if Bitcoin goes higher, but it's clearly digesting a huge move. It's going to make it hard. Netflix, chop bottom, held the gap, rallying back. I mean, you could be running fibs on these retracements too. I mean, I have them on the intraday charts. They get real interesting, right? When you hit some of these like Fibonacci, like if you draw it perfectly, it's like the range lows and the 0.618 are at 602. So you just draw that. You set an alarm if you want. It makes sense to me. Those might be short spots. Roblox popping a little bit. Been kind of a laggard. Pan W, again, we like Pelosi's trade. We like this long term. We believe in cybersecurity issues. She believes in it. She's betting on it. Tesla hits the 190s in the 100-day. Doink. All right, not surprised. Market up day. I mean, you'd think it'd be up more than $3, but this is what it is. DKNG, again, here you go. We like this area up here, 45 for short. Keep an eye on it. Don't be surprised by retests and games. Airbnb has earnings this week. Chopping around. Be careful. Costco, got to give it credit. Rally. Once it cleared the 20-day, look where we're back into. I mean, could we fill the gap? Impressive. Starbucks, I mean, this thing has been an absolute dog. We've talked about that. Please be careful. I mean, it's probably due to bounce. You got a 4-day range here. I'd watch 73, but if that's the best trade out there, then so be it. FedEx gaps up on earnings and then just gives it all back slowly. Caterpillar, this has been strong, right? Then gaps down on earnings and then holds the levels and then it's chopped. Again, after big moves, consolidation is typical. Nucor, right? The rallies, gaps down, chopping. X, I'm pretty sure they had some good... Again, I think that the rumors are filing again that they're going to get bought out by another company. Watch the 36s. I mean, you got a floor. VALE, we like this name long term, but at lower prices, chopping around. I mean, if you zoom out, again, I don't trust Brazil's government near term, but there's clearly support in the 12 area. Arrow, we like copper names holding up here. It's got to get over this 21, 22. CCJ, I mean, again, we like uranium long term. Another one we like, but I don't like Goldman Sachs upgrading the stock at the highs after it's doubled. I don't trust Goldman at all. CF, we like ag names. Gaps down on earnings, chopping around. I mean, a lot of these names are just big, choppy, sloppy consolidation patterns, and just let them do the damn thing. NTR, chop, chop. Aaron. Again, we love aluminum long term. Love it, love it, love it. Let it play out. XLF, close at the high day. Got to give it credit over the 20-day. Resistance here around 41. Let's see what happens. JPMO. Held 20-day, chopping around. Morgan, Stanley Morgan, chop, chop. I mean, you got to get over that 95 level. Bank of America has been holding up better, right? Chopping up at the high. Goldman Snacks. Again, I mean, I keep telling people, if you're worried about your Marcus account, clearly you shouldn't. Goldman's at 52-week highs, all-time highs. Carry gets into the 50 level. Keep an eye on it. Watch this stuff, right? Monday after the jobs numbers, interesting follow through. XBI, same kind of thing. We expected some bounces. Watch these multiple day ranges and levels. I mean, you got some levels to like trade off of. Solar, as we talked about, it's just certain solar are trash, but due for bounce, and then that's when you shorten. Sedge, same kind of thing. Chop, I mean, this thing looks so bad. ENPH, 200-day, I guess. I mean, just want bigger. I mean, first solar looks like the obvious one to me. We talked about once it popped on earnings, I mean, somewhere in this 200 range. HYG, again, I think you have to be high out of your mind to be buying corporate debt right now, but somebody's doing it near term. Oil and gas, we've talked about oil being a global growth proxy, geopolitical risk. Okay, you've got a clear double top. We talked about the XOP, right? Leading down. Like once the oil double topped, look at this, led down. Okay, watch the 20-day. We like natural gas. Again, I don't like the UNG, but it's... You bought it at 14, you looking good. We said the KLD was the short, in my opinion, to play that because it's a decaying ETF. You got this thing in the 70s, right? 80s, pretty solid damn move, right? All right, let's just run through them. ExxonMobil, we like these names, but they're just chopping around at the highs. Will they break out? Valero, we talked about the gasoline names leading down, like do-do-do-do-do-do. MPC, do-do-do-do-do-do. Same kind of thing, right? I mean, they lit up. And now they're leading down. Keep an eye on it. CVE, we like this name long term. I mean, could it get bought out? Who knows? I mean, it's got range. It's got game. I think in time, just waiting for pullbacks. Occidental, again, I like Oxy. I mean, Buffett does too. We talk about selling calls and then selling puts. It's just a big chop range, and nobody likes to hear that. But all right, well, ten cuidado, right? EQT, we like EQT on pullbacks. Again, they're buying out some midstream partners. They're going to chop. Last but not least, I love Flex LNG. I mean, unless someone knows something that I don't, this 11% dividend and natural gas exporting long-term, no doubt. So if you have questions, again, be careful. Ask questions if you need. I mean, we talk about probabilities. If you're looking for certainty in trading, don't trade. If you're looking for certainty in trading, don't trade. It's a probability-based game. It is gambling. The goal is to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. If you want to buy and hold forever, and be a buy and hold investor, go right ahead. If you want to buy and hold stocks individually, be careful. Buy and hold ETFs, buy and hold sectors. But I'm telling you, I've said this on and on since 2021. I do believe that after this recession, What will come out is a global tech war, and companies will be competing like in the 2000s. And who won the 2000 bull market after the tech bust? It was commodities. Commodities. You need inputs to build out this great, amazing future. I will stick to that and stay on record for that. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Always here to help. If you want to buy, sell, invest in real estate, I got you, dog. Talk to you guys and gals later. Peace.